when you break it down, like the steps there, it's quite easy. You sort of outlined how it is that you go about creating that your first info product. You're starting off doing the brainstorming, making sure that you or to find the niche, and then making sure you find the hook. And I think you've got that knack for also you bring that little bit of fun to a lot of the promotions that you do. Then figuring out how you're going to package it up, and then getting it online is definitely a good place to go. It's funny you picked out all of these little niches, like everything from cosmetic surgeons to getting a fit while you sit. And
Yeah.
I know you've sort of built up a pretty big name just in the internet marketing space as well. So I'm just curious to know your thoughts on splintering, like, I mean, going for all of these little sub niches as opposed to focusing on that one niche and then going deep, and if that's helped create your business, or what your thoughts are, looking back on it now.
Yeah, so the way that it started was definitely not strategic. It was more about, okay, what's Yannick's interest and what's kind of exciting and interesting. Let's try a couple different things, or let's prove to people that this actually works with the public domain stuff, or whatever the case was. And so I became my own sort of case study. But for people that are trying to figure out the best way of going at it, I'm a big fan of kind of like having a little bit of a mini empire, I guess,
Mm,
so that you're in a general sort of market, and that's kind of where you play. And that doesn't mean that you only have one product, but you can have a whole slew of things, and it makes it a lot easier when you have. So like I think to myself, the least riskiest way of building your business is, I kind of think of this two by two matrix. And so you got your product on one side and your marketplace on the other side. And so the most riskiest is to go new product, new marketplace.
mm,
So if you're moving two steps, it's pretty tough, and that's where you got the most risk. So I either would like take my existing product into a new marketplace, or have my existing marketplace and bring them a new product. And so that's been typically the way that we've grown what we do.
yeah.
You got your built-in base, or at least if you're taking your existing product to somewhere else, at least you know that your product is successful. And it's just it's riskiest when you're trying to do both of those at once: new product, new marketplace.
Yeah. The other thing as well, if you don't mind me sort of digging just a little bit deeper as well, the products that you have created, because they're so varied, and like we're talking small ebooks that sell from, $20 all the way up to high end products, to high end coaching, to seminars, those types of things. When you like, I know it's important to have a good mix, because you make sure that you have the funnel, and making sure that you can sort of monetize at each different stage. Is there any particular part of your business that you go, that area is one of the most or more profitable parts of your business? Yeah, so just in terms of thinking, like drilling down a little bit deeper to your business and thinking about the different components in your business, are there any specific areas that you go, yeah, that's more profitable than others?
Absolutely. I mean, it's the high price stuff for sure. We have a $20,000 mastermind program, which is for high end achievers. We have our underground seminar, which if you wait till the last minute, that costs you $3,500 to get a seat there.
Do people buy tickets at that last minute?
Yeah, some do, which really surprises me, because we try and put as many incentives in place to buy early, because it helps us set the room right and do all the rest of the things. And
Yeah.
and if you buy early, it's $2,000 versus 3,500. So there's definitely a big difference there. And we've done different coaching programs and all of those things. So it certainly makes the higher price stuff definitely is more profitable. The lower end stuff is typically really easier to set up as a front end, as a way to start building up your funnel and building up your customer database and so forth. Though, lately when I've been working with people, and if they have something really, really unique, and it has a significant ROI to it, like I've been kind of pushing them towards, creating a higher priced something first, instead of, going a traditional funnel route where there's a $20 ebook, and then a $200 course, and then a $500 something, and then
Mm.
it keeps rising from there. So because there's a significant psychological component to pricing with high price stuff. You typically expect to get the best, and you're typically not. There's definitely a correlation, it seems, with that. So if
Mm.
you can jump in immediately, and one of my rules is that we have to. I say in my planner that I read, one of my values, it says, I get rich by enriching others 10 times to 100 times what they pay me in return. So even at the high price stuff, that's one of the questions that I'm always asking myself, and I get my students to ask as well, is, how do I make sure that this is creating a 10 times to 100 times value for the end user? And if you're thinking like that, then why couldn't you charge more for it,
Yeah.
as long as you're delivering what you promise?
I think at your underground seminar, Jeff Johnson did that really well when he burst out onto the scene. He came out with, he launched it at your seminar, that 25,000K coaching program, and that was his entry level product.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great example. Yeah, so Jeff was very unknown. He was a friend of mine, or still is a friend of mine, and I knew him just kind of in passing at that point, but became a lot better friends, and so I asked him to speak there at the very first underground, and that positioning that he got was very powerful. I mean, it's like, okay, well, you can sit here and listen to me, or you'll get the recordings of this if you want, but if you actually want to work with me one on one, it's $25,000, and that sets up your positioning for a lot of things in the future. If you're selling, then afterwards, if you're selling a $5,000 program or a $2,000 program, it seems
Mm,
cheap in comparison. So
mm,
there's definitely a strategic element involved in deciding what you're going to do. Now it'd be tough to do that. Like we were talking about the guy that helps people or teaches them how to take the engines out of the Honda Civics. He couldn't come out of the gates and be like, okay, for $25,000, I'll show you this. You have to have a correlation to the return on investment, or the value for somebody.
yeah.
And people don't always buy info products, by the way, just for an ROI. They buy it from a lot of reasons. Buy them to avoid embarrassment, to look good, to get the inside skinny on things. So I'm a buyer of. It's good to be a buyer of different things to see what models people are using. So I've previously been a purchaser of this one thing called the Andrew Harper Hideaway Report, which is this anonymous guy who goes and travels under anonymous name to all these little hideaways around the world, and then he shares them with you. And his clientele are really high end, like CEOs and executives, and it was like a $300 or $400 a year newsletter for a travel newsletter. So you might be surprised at what people will spend money for. I had one thing I was buying, so I'm into wines, like a Pinot Noir report, which was like, God, I don't know, even like maybe $200 a year to find out about the best Pinot Noirs coming out.
Hmm.
So, you'll be surprised.